All right, Ged. On this week's episode of the Bad Batch, episode 6, Decommissioned, you finally get your wish.
Right? And I am Robin of Loxley.
And Wrecker's migraines seem to never go away.
Yeah. Well, I guess first things first. Sorry, I am without headset right now, so the audio quality might not be what people are used to. But I just finished my own shoot, and I am outside, so we're making do.
Nice. I'm heading outside very shortly, so can't wait. Okay, so let's just start in the meat of this. Okay, so the Martez sisters are back. You've been calling for it. I think you called for this in the Mandalorian. I think when it was Sasha Banks's whatever her Mandalorian name was, you thought that could have been maybe the Martez sister.
Yep.
And I think you brought up Raph and Trace in one of our pre-Bad Batch things. So now you got them.
Yep.
So what did you think of them? Did you like having them in there?
I loved the entrance. I loved how they left it at the end with the cliffhanger. We don't know who they're bringing it to. I'm sure you and I are going to discuss that. Yeah. I thought they nailed it. The one thing I will say is they are working very much like a cohesive unit in this. And that wasn't always the case. In the last season of The Mandalorian, the Martez sisters weren't, or Clone Wars, sorry. Yeah. They weren't always on the same page. You know what I mean?
Rafa always had her own agenda, was kind of bossed and traced around and kept her at arm's length. And and this time, they kind of did look like a well-oiled machine. Mm-hmm. It looks like they've fully embraced, I think it's pretty obvious I don't want to call them rebels, but it's obviously they're fighting against the Empire and they're aligned in that cause. So let's go to obviously the big cliffhanger, right? They're reporting to somebody saying, we ran into a group of clones who don't seem to be, following the Emperor's brainwashing. So who do we think that could be? Because the person, if you noticed, I slowed it down afterwards. It looks like they're wearing a robe or clothing, right? It's not armor. Yep. So, and it's going to be somebody, if they're not revealing it, it's obviously somebody we know. So, and I think it's someone who's going to fall on the light side of the ledger versus the dark.
I agree.
So, that narrows it down very much, but
I mean, you and I are both, I'm sure, begging for some Ahsoka Tano here.
Yeah, that was her
Trace and Ahsoka. Yeah.
That was really her only connection during the Clone Wars. She was the only one who interacted with them. Yep. So it'd be interesting if it's Ahsoka. The way the clothing were shown, it didn't quite look like it was an Ahsoka getup. But I'm going off like the corner of a shoulder and side. So on a hologram. Huh?
Thinking Padme?
No, well, she'd be like dying of childbirth, maybe a couple days ago.
Pretty pregnant, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. So it'll be interesting who they're reporting to. So obviously we're going to see that coming up.
Any thoughts? Do you think it's Ahsoka?
I don't know. It's like I don't think
based on Coruscant, right?
Who?
The Martez sisters.
Well, originally.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're still there. Is it like an Obi-Wan? I doubt it. It's not going to be. So I don't. Other than it's not going to be a random Jedi. Like an underworld figure would be. Who I first originally thought actually was Captain Rex, but since they weren't wearing armor, I don't think that's going to work.
It's got to be Ahsoka Tano. I think we're going to see an Ahsoka Tano who's going to lead us to Rex towards the end of the season.
Yeah. I just feel Ahsoka's always been that narrative point in a lot of shows. So I don't know if they're going to go that route. I think it's going to be something completely different. Like maybe it's something silly, like it's Bail Organa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. I thought the cool part, first off, it looks like Ord Mantell now is their kind of base of operations. They're still taking orders from Sid, and it still bothers me that Sid's voice is crystal clear. Like, come on.
Yeah, I know that bugs you.
Like, would it hurt to give it like a little bit of a lisp?
Some type of hissings.
Yeah,
yeah.
But anyways, so they get a new mission. It's to get a tactical droid head. And then they go to Corellia, which I love. We only get to really see, it's obviously, so Corellia is big in the expanded universe. We only get to see it briefly at the beginning of Solo. So we get to go there, which is exciting, but we get stuck in a factory the whole time. So we don't really get to expand on much of Corellia, but it's kind of cool seeing them just decommissioning the tools of war, so to speak. And they got to get a tactical battle droid head. So it's kind of a side quest, fetch quest, but what do you think?
I like it because I see this not being a side quest. I don't see it being a filler. I see this being a deciding moment for what the Bad Batch is going to do for the rest of the season. Because, they're basically fetching for Sid so that they make money. And the way that the Martez sisters phrased it was, they're doing this for a good reason, to help fight back against the Empire. I think this is going to be a bit of a turning point in the series where you're going to see them all sit around and say, is this really our correct course of action? Do we want to be bounty hunters, or are we more than that?
Yeah. So we might see that transition from mercenary to kind of rebel-ish, right?
Yep.
Wrecker. So he gets a headache for the 5th episode in a row now.
Yeah.
He was on the verge of breaking. So it's got to be next episode. He even said good soldiers follow orders under his breath. So he's got to be verge on breaking.
You could hear the command in the background if you turn it up. Yep.
And now, does he not tell his buddies he's experiencing this? That's the part I don't get. Or is it blocked out of his memory, where he can't access it or have free will over it? I don't know what they're doing with that.
Not telling them.
Yeah.
I don't think it's subconsciously blocked out. I think he's Wrecker and he's big and he's tough and he's tougher than anything in his head.
Yeah.
Until
so we're gonna get some big time Wrecker drama in the next episode or two. That's happening. The other element I may want to touch on is just for a nostalgia's point of view, we get to see battle droids, right?
Yeah,
which is cool. They get to program him and fight for him. It kind of reminded me of that episode in Rebels where they just randomly come back, which is cool.
Yeah.
My only, not really a complaint. It's nice to see them, but when they're on the scrap heap like that, all pulled apart, the fact that they all powered up and had power, I know that's just a silly thing to think about.
Yeah,
but I'm looking at it, I'm like, are these things really gonna fire up just like that and start running? But
I love that they were still funny. One turns on, orders are orders.
Yeah.
They just pick up in the same stupid one. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, they literally, they're not aware of the time shift, right? They just ended.
Did we win? The one turn on, did we win?
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought they had, for me, when I saw them, my mind went to this is kind of cool. It's like zombie droids because they're all falling apart. But they didn't really quite go full that way. I wanted to see them more emphasis on that, but it was more or less a couple are missing arms. That's it.
Look more like Ultron in the Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no strings attached to me or whatever he says. What do you say?
He's in pieces and still killing it. Yeah. All right. So what else? We had Wrecker. We had the 3 points. We at the stage where we rated, or something else you want to touch on?
One last thing. So we've hypothesized Omega has all the Bad Batch abilities, right?
Yeah.
Were you a little taken aback when Omega couldn't fire that bow worth shit?
No.
Or do you think it's the skill of actually holding the bow that was holding her back, not the marksmanship?
I think it was the overall strength, but remember, she's unaltered in terms of growth.
Yes,
so it's going to take her time to develop strength, I know. And she's never developed it. So one thing you notice about Wrecker is he's constantly physically pushing himself. I think that you'll see Omega gain strength in the next episode to kind of further my theory. I think you'll see her gather strength very quickly once she starts, because even when Chase says to her, it's your noodly little arms, I think in the next episode, you're going to see Wrecker helping her work out.
Well, that's what also I was wondering, right? Because, Wrecker's the only ability we haven't really seen yet manifest in her.
Yeah.
And when she couldn't hold the bow because of strength, I was like, does she not have the strength to do it? But you still think she's yet to develop that.
I do. I think that on the next episode, you'll see Wrecker start helping her work out, and she'll develop strength at an astronomical rate. Because Wrecker wasn't born strong. He just overdeveloped it quickly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so let's rate this thing. So just a note, I grossly overrated last week's episode. It bothered me afterwards, being like, man, if the premiere is an 8.1 and we haven't topped that yet, there's no way last week was a 7.6 or whatever I gave it. It was more of like a 7.
Yeah, I gave it a flat
0.0. Yeah, so I just want to, put that out there. I thought this episode was a little more better return to form. We're getting some of those plot points pulled in a little bit more, a little more action. I liked the pace, and I liked seeing Corellia and some of those cool stuff. So I'm gonna go a 7.8 on this episode.
Interesting. I'm gonna go a hair lower because we had the premiered an 8.1. I'm gonna go 7.6.
Fair.
I think that when you see Wrecker snap or you see Omega do something cool, then it'll be back up into the high 7s, low 8s. And not to say I didn't like this episode. I really liked it. I just think we set the bar to an almost unmanageable standpoint when we gave the premiere only 8.1.
Yeah, well, I gave it an 8.1. You gave it, I think, 8.5. So I think it was like 8.2, 8.3 overall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little concerned over the last few episodes. I was like, okay, it's a little slow. Not much is happening. Not much I really care about. But this one started to turn the wheel back in that right direction.
Yeah, it makes me really look forward to the next one.
Yeah, because we got some interesting. Again, where the heck? You mentioned this last week. Where's Crosshair at? Like,
seriously.
They set him up as this cool plot, not only plot device, but villain. And now we got nothing of it. Like he's just chilling on Camino, like swimming in the pool or something. Yeah. I
agree.
All right, buddy. I got to get going. So thank you for coming on, and we will do this again next week.
Wait. Before you go, it's the first time I've seen you since you crossed this milestone. I want to congratulate you on crossing the 1,000 subscriber threshold. That is something you have been working towards. You put hours and hours and hours into develop content. You've been kind enough to let me join you for some of this dual stuff, which I know doesn't get the same views as your shorts and other things, but it's been amazing to watch this channel develop. You're up to like 1,400 subscribers, man. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, buddy. It's been like you said, it's been a lot of hard work, but I enjoy it, and I also appreciate the support of you always coming on and being a sounding board and partner in crime, so to speak.
Always happy to help, man.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
Take care. Have fun.